welcome to Creatively Rich. This is Ann Tipton, and today I have my guest, Kristen Vanderwerff. She is a creative entrepreneur who I've gotten to know, and I'm excited to introduce you to her. Apparently, Gizmo wants to be in the shot today, so hi.
Hi, Gizmo.
Hi, Kristen. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Awesome. So you have this amazing story about when you were 2. Tell us about it.
I do. So I'm currently exploring the photography industry, and I was thinking back to when I was a child and how I feel like photography has kind of always been something that I should end up doing. So when I was 2, I won a camera. My dad owns a tire business, and I was at his shop. I've spent a lot of time there throughout my life. And one of his suppliers came in to give him a holiday gift. They always used to do that back in the day. And you were able to scratch something off, like pick a few numbers and scratch them off. And whatever you scratched off, you would win a certain prize. So he let me scratch it off, and I scratched off to win a camera. My mom always called me lucky that I did that. But now looking back, I feel like it was really just fate that happened.
And now that you are a grown-up, you started a photography business, yeah? Because that's one of your great passions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's so cool. So tell us a little bit about, you kind of always knew that photography was part of what you wanted to do, right?
I actually have the first photo that I remember taking when I think back to where my interest in photography began. This photo, if you can see it, the photo I took of my brother. I was probably 6 years old, and of course it was taken on a disposable camera. And I remember my mom critiquing me and saying, "Don't get so much leg in the photo, get more of like the top of his body." And so when I started getting into photography as a professional, I thought back, and then throughout high school, I was the photographer for my gymnastics team. I did that for about 2 years. I took my brother's senior photos. So it's just kind of been always something I've been doing and interested in. But again, not till this year did I really dive deep into it and start taking advantage of my passion and spend the time and money really to take it to the next level.
That's awesome. And I think one of the things that I respect and admire so much about you is kind of how you've been able to follow your passions because you were so smart going through college.
Yeah. I just always think long term and what will make my dreams come true. And I've always been a really ambitious person, so I just keep on going.
So tell us about how you made college work for you.
So back in Wisconsin, where I'm from, I had a really great job throughout high school, and I didn't want to leave that job because I was making such good money for my age. So I chose to go to a college that was decently close to my job, about 30 minutes away. And I worked throughout college 5 days a week, like super full-time, while going to school. But it was one of my goals. 2 of my goals were, one was to move to Texas, or at least to a city. And my other goal was to get out of college debt-free and pay for it myself. So I, again, worked 5 days a week and went to school, and I graduated college in 3.5 years without any loans. And it was a really good feeling.
That's amazing. That really is. I mean, so few people can pull that off or even have the foresight to do it, right? So many of us are encouraged to just go to school and worry about the rest later.
Yeah, and I think I'm a little different than society's like normal 20-year-old or 22-year-old. A lot of people that age, just getting into college, they're excited for the parties and drinking and making friends, and I just had a vision. I wanted to move. I wanted to not be in debt. So that's what I did.
That's awesome. And you kind of have followed your vision along your career path, right? That's kind of how you got into the wedding planning stuff too, yeah?
Once I moved to Texas, I just got a job to, be able to pay my rent for a while. And then I started thinking, what do I really want to do? What career path do I want to go into? Because I was kind of changing it up. And I had a friend who took a certification course for the Bridal Society, which is a wedding planning course. And it sounded super interesting to me. Something I've always been interested in, aside from photography, is planning events. I was the girl who went way overboard for her birthday parties, graduation parties, all that stuff. So I thought it was the perfect thing to do. It just felt so right. Even though it was a little bit of an investment and I had to drive 3 hours alone, stay 2 days in Houston, a city I've never been in, it just felt so right. So I did the course, and my instructor, while I was there, she said to the whole class, because I was planning on working and learning under somebody else for a couple of years, just to like learn the ropes of everything. Well, my instructor said, why build up somebody else's business when you can build up your own? And it hit me so hard, like a wake-up call almost, like, she's right. I should build up my own business. So that's what I did. And a month later, I started my wedding planning company called Love Me Not Weddings. And
I love the name. Love the name.
Yeah, it has a little play on words. I like that. Coming up on my 2-year anniversary of being certified, just in a few weeks. And I have 25 weddings next year. So
25 weddings. Holy cow. That's amazing to go from
I'm going to be really busy. But the funny thing is that about 20 of them are between March and June.
Right. Well, wedding season, right?
Yeah.
So. And I saw you post on Facebook a while back that, like, if you're inviting me to your wedding, let me know because I'm booking up for the next
because
year.
I like, if you want me there, you got to tell me now before I go to a stranger's wedding.
So before we finish up here, is there any words of inspiration you have for somebody who is a little anxious about following their dreams or really going for what they want in life?
I think that in a situation like that, where you're trying to figure out what you really want, you really just got to be selfish, and you got to think long term, because nobody else is going to do this for you. And in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, your life is what matters. The other people in your life might not always be there. Your situation that you're in today, it's not always going to be the same. So think about what you want in the future and then take the action steps to get there.
I think that's brilliant advice. Kristen, thank you so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Gizmo really appreciates it. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Kristen.
Bye.